Let me ask you something real. How many times have you watched a health video, nodded your head, felt like it finally made sense, and then 5 minutes later, you opened the fridge and thought, okay, but what am I actually supposed to eat? That is where most people get stuck. Not because they are lazy, not because they do not care about their health, and not because they lack discipline. They get stuck because too much health advice sounds smart, but it does not help you make dinner. People talk about autophagy, cellular repair, fasting, mTOR, AMPK, all these big science words. And yes, the science matters. But if it does not tell you what to put on your plate tonight, then what good is it? That is the problem. Most people hear that fasting is the only way to clean out damaged cells, so they either try to suffer through it, or they give up before they even start. But what if the real question is not, how long can you go without food? What if the better question is, can you eat in a way that tells your body it is time to clean up? Because that changes everything. And this is where I think a lot of people feel frustrated. You watch a video about autophagy. You hear that your body can clean out old, damaged cells. You hear that it may help with energy, aging, inflammation, and repair. And honestly, it sounds amazing. But then the video ends. Now what? You are standing in your kitchen. You have eggs, chicken, maybe some yogurt, some vegetables, maybe a bag of rice or oatmeal in the pantry. And suddenly, all that science feels useless. Because nobody told you what breakfast should look like. Nobody told you what to eat on day one. Nobody told you when protein helps, and when too much of the wrong protein may send the wrong signal. So people do one of two things. They either try to fast hard, get hungry, get cranky, and quit. Or they go back to eating the same meals as before, just hoping their body somehow figures it out. That is not your fault. Most health advice gives you big ideas, but no real plan. It tells you what is happening inside the cell, but it does not help you build a plate. And for real life, that matters. Because you do not live in a lab. You live with a schedule, stress, cravings, family meals, work, and a fridge full of normal food. So the real question is simple. How do you make this work in everyday life? That is what this video is going to give you. Not another theory. Not another complicated lecture. A real 7-day eating plan you can actually follow. You will know what to eat, when to eat it, and why each meal is there. Not in a confusing science class way. In a simple, practical way that makes sense when you are standing in your kitchen. The plan has 3 parts. First, you help your body quiet down the constant growth mode signal. Then you support the deeper cleanup phase. And after that, you bring protein back in the right way, so your body can rebuild instead of just break down. That part is important because autophagy is not about starving yourself forever. It is not about punishing your body. It is not about proving how tough you are. Your body needs a rhythm. Clean first, rebuild second. That is the whole idea. Over the next 7 days, the meals are simple. Real food, nothing extreme, no weird powders, no pretending black coffee is a full personality. No suffering through the week while dreaming about pizza. Just a smart sequence. Low-signal foods at the beginning, supportive foods in the middle, better rebuilding foods at the end. By the time you finish this video, you will not just understand the idea, you will have a plan you can use. Here is the part most people miss. Autophagy is not just about not eating. That sounds strange, because most people only hear about it in fasting videos. They hear, don't eat for 16 hours, or 24 hours, or 3 days. And the message starts to feel like this. If you want your body to clean itself, you have to suffer first. But that is not the whole story. Your body is not just counting hours without food. It is reading signals. Every time you eat, your cells are paying attention. They are asking simple questions. Is there a lot of protein coming in? Are there enough building blocks to grow? Is this a time to build, or is this a time to clean? That is why this matters. You can eat in a way that keeps the growth signal lower for a short window, and when that signal gets quieter, your body has more room to shift into cleanup mode. This does not mean food becomes the enemy. It means timing matters. Food choice matters. The type of protein matters. And the goal is not to starve your body into panic. The goal is to guide it. Think of it like cleaning your house. You cannot remodel the kitchen while every room is full of clutter. First, you clear things out. Then you bring in the new materials. Your body works in a similar rhythm. Clean first, rebuild second. That is the idea behind this 7-day plan. Now let's keep the science simple. There are certain amino acids in food that tell your body, we have plenty. It is time to grow. Two big ones are methionine and leucine. You find them in higher amounts in foods like beef, chicken, eggs, and whey protein. These foods are not bad. That is not the point. The point is timing. When your body gets a strong hit of these amino acids, it can turn up a pathway called mTOR. You can think of mTOR like a growth switch. When it is on, your body is focused more on building, making new tissue, repairing muscle, using incoming nutrients. That can be a good thing. But when mTOR is always loud, your body may not spend as much time doing the deeper cleanup work. So, for the first part of this plan, we are not trying to remove all protein forever. That would be a mistake. We are just lowering the strongest growth signals for a short time. Less methionine, less leucine, more plant-forward meals, more foods that support the cleanup side of the cycle. Then, later in the week, protein comes back in a smarter way. That is the difference between a plan and a random restriction. You are not just eating less. You are changing the message your food sends to your cells. At the beginning, the message is, slow down, clean up, clear out what is not working. At the end, the message becomes, now rebuild with better materials. That is why the order matters. Before we go any further, we need to clear something up. Protein is not the bad guy. I know it can sound that way when we talk about methionine, leucine, and mTOR. But that is not what this plan is saying. Your body needs protein. Your muscles need it. Your immune system needs it. Your brain, skin, bones, and hormones all depend on it in different ways. So this is not a protein is dangerous plan. It is also not a plan where you eat like a bird for the rest of your life. That would be a terrible idea. What we are doing here is short-term and intentional. For a small window, we lower the strongest growth signals. We give the body a chance to shift away from constant building and move toward cleanup. Then we bring protein back. That part matters. Because if you only clean and never rebuild, you do not get stronger. You just wear yourself down. This is where a lot of people get it wrong. They hear about autophagy, then they try to stay in that mode forever. But your body was not built to live in one gear. It needs cycles. There is a time to clean, there is a time to repair, and there is a time to rebuild. The goal is not less protein forever. The goal is better timing. Now, let's start with days 1 and 2. This is the reset phase. The goal here is simple. We want to quiet the loud growth mode signal that most of us keep turned on all the time. Think about the normal American diet for a second. Eggs at breakfast, chicken at lunch, beef at dinner, maybe yogurt, cheese, protein bars, or whey shakes in between. Again, none of those foods are automatically bad. But when high-protein signals keep coming all day, every day, your cells may never get a real break from building mode. So for these first 2 days, we shift the message. Protein stays low. Meals become more plant-forward. The focus moves toward colorful foods, healthy fats, minerals, fiber, and polyphenols. This is not about eating less to suffer. It is about eating differently to send a different signal. You are telling your body, the feast signal is quiet now. You can start clearing out what does not need to stay. That is the reset. No panic, no extreme fasting, no trying to prove anything. Just 2 days of giving your body a different set of instructions. And for a lot of people, this is the first time their cells have had that quiet window in years. For breakfast on days 1 and 2, keep it simple. A bowl of wild blueberries and a few walnuts. That may sound too basic, but there is a reason for it. You are not trying to stuff yourself first thing in the morning. You are trying to give your body something light, clean, and useful without sending a strong protein signal. Blueberries bring in polyphenols. Walnuts give you healthy fats. Together, they give your body fuel without pushing it hard into growth mode. That is the whole point of this phase. You are not starving. You are signaling. Then for lunch, go with a big crunchy salad. Red cabbage, kale, sliced radishes, half an avocado, olive oil, lemon juice, and a splash of apple cider vinegar. Nothing fancy, just real food that your body understands. The cabbage and kale bring in plant compounds and minerals. The avocado and olive oil help you feel satisfied. The vinegar and lemon make it bright, so it does not feel like punishment food. And that matters, because if a plan feels miserable, most people will not stick with it. This lunch is meant to feel fresh, full, and steady. No heavy meat. No protein shake. No big growth signal. Just a plate that tells your body, we are taking a break from constant building today. And honestly, for a lot of people, even 2 meals like this can feel like a reset. Dinner on days 1 and 2 is where you keep the same message going. Roasted root vegetables, carrots, parsnips, and beets. Toss them with a little extra virgin olive oil, add fresh rosemary, and roast them until the edges get soft and a little caramelized. Then add steamed asparagus on the side. This meal works because it is filling, warm, and comforting, but still low in the protein signals we are trying to keep quiet for a short time. Root vegetables are mostly complex carbs and fiber. They give you energy without turning the meal into a heavy protein load. That helps your body stay in the reset phase through the evening. And the asparagus has a special role here. Asparagus contains spermidine, a natural compound that has been studied for its connection to autophagy. Think of it like another small nudge in the right direction. The low-protein meal keeps the growth signal quieter. The asparagus adds support for the cleanup side. Again, this is not about forcing your body, it is about stacking small signals. One meal will not magically change everything, but 2 days of meals like this can start to shift the environment inside your body. And that is what we want before we move into the deeper part of the plan. Now we move into days 3 and 4. This is the peak phase. The first 2 days helped quiet the noise. They gave your body a break from the constant growth signal. Now the goal is to support the cleanup work that may already be picking up. But I want to be clear, we are not going extreme here. We are not removing every meal. We are not turning this into a punishment. And we are not pretending hunger is some kind of moral victory. The goal is smarter than that. On days 3 and 4, every choice has a job. Your morning drink helps extend the quiet overnight window. Your broth helps replace minerals, so you do not crash. Your dinner supports your gut and keeps the signal steady. This is where many people mess up fasting-style plans. They push too hard. They ignore electrolytes. They feel tired, dizzy, foggy, or irritated, and then they think their body is detoxing. A lot of the time, it is not detox. It is poor planning. Your body still needs support while it is doing repair work. So, days 3 and 4 are not about being empty. They are about being precise. You are giving your cells time to clean, while still giving your body enough minerals, fiber, and fuel to stay grounded. This is the difference between a random restriction and a real protocol. And this is where the plan starts to feel more intentional. On days 3 and 4, your morning is simple. Black coffee or green tea. That is it. And no, this is not about pretending coffee is breakfast. It is not about acting tough or trying to win some fasting contest. There is a reason for this choice. After you sleep, your body has already spent several hours without food coming in. That overnight window is naturally a quieter time for your cells. So in the morning, we do not want to shut that down too fast. Black coffee may help support AMPK, which is one of the body's energy-sensing pathways. You can think of AMPK as a signal that tells the body, use what you have, be efficient, clean things up. Green tea has its own benefit too. It contains EGCG, a plant compound that has been studied for how it may help calm some of the growth signals inside the body. So, the idea is simple. You are not starving yourself. You are giving your body a little more time to finish the work it started overnight. But be honest with yourself here. If you are truly hungry, not bored, not stressed, not just used to chewing something, then have half an avocado with a pinch of mineral salt. That keeps things steady without throwing the whole plan off. This phase is not about suffering, it is about staying calm, steady, and intentional. Now let's talk about lunch on days 3 and 4. This is where a warm vegetable broth comes in. And I know, broth does not sound exciting at first, but this is one of those meals that makes more sense once you understand what your body is doing. During this phase, your body may be using more minerals than usual: sodium, potassium, magnesium, trace minerals. And when people do fasting-style plans without replacing those minerals, they often feel awful. They get headaches. They feel weak. They feel foggy. Then they say, "I guess I am detoxing." But a lot of the time, that is not detox. It is just low minerals. So the broth is not a backup meal. It has a real job. Use onion skins, celery, kombu, seaweed, ginger, and water. Simmer it slowly, then strain it and drink it warm. The kombu brings minerals. The onion skins add plant compounds. The ginger gives it warmth and helps it feel like real food, not punishment. This broth keeps you grounded while your body is doing cleanup work. It helps you feel steady instead of drained. And that is the difference between doing this in a smart way and just forcing your body through stress. For dinner on days 3 and 4, keep it simple again. 1 medium sweet potato. Steam it. Do not bake it. Then add a small amount of extra virgin olive oil or grass-fed ghee, plus a pinch of mineral salt. Now, I know that sounds almost too plain, but the cooking method matters here. When you bake a sweet potato at high heat, more of those starches can break down faster. That may lead to a quicker blood sugar rise for some people. Steaming keeps the meal gentler. It helps preserve more of the resistant starch, and resistant starch is the part we care about here. Your body does not digest all of it right away. Instead, it passes down into the gut, where your good bacteria can feed on it. And when those bacteria eat resistant starch, they produce something called butyrate. Butyrate is a short-chain fatty acid. In simple terms, it is one of the ways your gut talks back to your body, and that matters. Because this plan is not only about protein signals, it is also about gut signals, energy signals, and repair signals working together. That one steamed sweet potato is not just healthy carbs, it is food for your microbiome. Your microbiome then creates compounds that may support the cleanup environment we are trying to build. That is the deeper idea here. You are not eating less just to eat less. You are choosing foods that keep the message steady. Now we get to day 5. This is the transition day. And honestly, this is where a lot of people mess up. They do a few low-protein days, feel proud of themselves, and then immediately jump back into a giant steak, a protein shake, eggs, cheese, and whatever else they missed. But that is like cleaning your house for 2 days, then dragging all the clutter right back through the front door. Day 5 is not the day to slam the growth switch back on. It is the day to ease your body into rebuilding. So instead of going straight to heavy animal protein, we bring in plant protein first, something like red lentils. Lentils give you amino acids, but they do it in a softer way. They do not hit the growth signal as hard as whey protein or a big serving of chicken breast. That is the point. You are telling your body, okay, cleanup is slowing down now. We are starting to rebuild, but we are not rushing it. This transition matters because your body works best with rhythm, not extremes, not all cleanup forever, not all growth forever. Day 5 is the bridge between the two. It keeps the plan balanced, and it helps you move from repair mode into rebuilding mode without shocking the system. On day 5, lunch can be a simple golden lentil soup, red lentils, turmeric, cumin, garlic, and water or vegetable broth. Let it simmer until everything gets soft and thick, nothing complicated. But this meal has a purpose. Lentils bring protein back in a gentler way. You are giving your body amino acids again, but you are not hitting it with a huge protein load all at once. That is why this works so well for the transition day. And the turmeric is not just there for color. Turmeric contains curcumin, which has been studied for how it may interact with inflammation and growth signals in the body. So the meal is warm, filling, and still careful. For dinner, go with mushrooms and spinach. Sauté portobello mushrooms with garlic and extra virgin olive oil, then serve them over wilted spinach. Mushrooms are one of those foods people overlook, but they fit this phase perfectly. They bring in compounds that may support the mitochondria, the tiny energy engines inside your cells. And spinach adds magnesium, folate, and minerals your body may need after several days of deeper repair work. This day is not flashy, but it is important. It helps your body move from cleanup into rebuilding without rushing the process. Now we move into days 6 and 7. This is the smart refeed. And this part matters just as much as the cleanup phase. Because autophagy is not supposed to be permanent. You are not trying to stay in low-protein mode forever. Your body still needs to rebuild. Your muscles need protein. Your brain needs nutrients. Your skin, joints, immune system, and hormones all need real building materials. So now, we bring higher quality protein back in. But we do it on purpose, not randomly. Not with a giant cheat meal. Not by eating everything you avoided all week. This is where the plan becomes a full cycle. First, you lowered the growth signal. Then, you supported the cleanup work. Then, you eased protein back in with plants. And now, you give the body stronger rebuilding foods. That is why I call this a smart refeed. You are not undoing the week. You are completing it. The cleanup crew had its time. Now the construction crew gets to work. And the timing matters too. A lot of repair and rebuilding happens while you sleep, so putting your best protein later in the day can make sense for this phase. You are giving your body what it needs, right when it can use it. That is the rhythm. Clean first, rebuild second. And when you understand that, the whole plan starts to feel a lot less extreme. For day 6, dinner is simple. Wild-caught salmon with steamed bok choy. That is the main meal. And there is a reason salmon shows up here, not at the beginning of the week. By day 6, your body is moving into rebuild mode. Now it needs better materials. Salmon gives you complete protein, but it also brings in omega-3 fats, especially EPA and DHA. Those fats matter. They help support a calmer, inflammatory environment in the body, and after several days of focusing on cleanup, that is exactly what you want. You are not just throwing protein back in, you are choosing protein that also supports the environment you just worked to create. The bok choy matters too. It gives you vitamin C and plant compounds that may support collagen production and cellular defense. And collagen is not just about skin. It matters for joints, tendons, connective tissue, and how your body holds itself together. So this meal is not random. The salmon helps rebuild. The omega-3s help keep things calm. The bok choy supports the tissue repair side of the process. It is a clean, steady way to tell your body, now it is time to build again. On day 7, breakfast brings eggs back in. 2 or 3 pasture-raised eggs, soft-boiled or poached, with fresh sliced tomatoes on the side. Simple meal. But it closes the cycle really well. Eggs are rich in complete protein, so they send a clear rebuilding signal. And that is okay now. At this point in the plan, we want that signal to come back. But eggs also bring something else that matters. Choline. Choline is one of those nutrients most people never think about, but your brain depends on it. It helps your body make acetylcholine, a chemical involved in memory, focus, and mental sharpness. So after several days of giving the body a cleaner, quieter environment, this meal helps bring the brain and nervous system back into the rebuilding phase too. And the tomatoes are not just there to make the plate look nice. They bring lycopene and antioxidants, which help support the cells as everything comes back online. This is the point of the whole week. You did not avoid protein because protein was bad. You lowered the signal for a short time, then you brought it back with purpose. By day 7, the message is clear. The cleanup phase is done. Now the body gets what it needs to repair, rebuild, and move forward stronger. Now let's talk about what you might actually feel during the week, because I do not want to oversell this. Some people expect fireworks right away. They think day 1 should feel like their body suddenly became brand new. That is usually not how it works. Days 1 through 3 may feel pretty normal. Maybe a little lighter, maybe a little tired, maybe nothing dramatic at all. That does not mean nothing is happening. Your body may just be adjusting to a different signal. Less heavy protein, less constant growth mode, more space for cleanup. Days 4 and 5 are where some people start to notice a shift. The afternoon crash may feel softer. Your mind may feel a little clearer. You may not feel as heavy after meals. Some people notice their skin looks a little calmer, or their sleep starts to improve. But everyone is different. Your starting diet matters. Your stress level matters. Your sleep matters. Your gut health matters. So, do not judge the whole plan by one weird afternoon. Pay attention to patterns. Do you feel steadier? Are your cravings quieter? Is your energy less up and down? That is the real feedback. Is you? Not perfection, just signs that your body is responding. So, here is the big lesson. Autophagy is not about hating food. It is not about starving yourself until you feel miserable. And it is not about proving you have more willpower than everyone else. It is about rhythm. There is a time to quiet the growth signal. There is a time to let the body clean. And there is a time to bring protein back so you can rebuild. That is what this 7-day plan is really teaching. Clean first, rebuild second. Once you understand that, food starts to look different. A meal is not just calories, it is a message. Every plate tells your body what to do next. So do not try to be perfect. Start simple. Try the first 2 days. Notice how you feel. Then keep going if it makes sense for your body. And as always, if you have a medical condition or take medication, talk with a qualified healthcare professional before making big changes. If you want hidden health science to keep turning complicated biology into simple steps you can actually use, subscribe to the channel and leave a comment with the word 7 days if you want the full meal list in one simple breakdown.